Welcome to KRA's The Hub, the official podcast of KRA Corporation. And now get ready to hear workforce topics and trends you need to know on the go.
Welcome to KRA's The Hub podcast. This is Jonathan Overall, the host of The Hub. And today I'm joined by Barbara Meschino, the Dean of Malcolm X College, the West Campus. Barbara, it's good to see you here in this forum. Thank you for joining us today at The Hub.
Hi, Jonathan. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super delighted to be here with you all. I'm looking forward to a great conversation with you.
Awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to talking about a number of things, including the partnership that KRA, as a workforce services provider, has with the Malcolm X College there in Chicago. But I also want to state at the beginning that our partnership is part of an ecosystem of support that is led by the Chicago Cook Workforce Partnership. And they are a nonprofit entity that oversees one of the largest public workforce networks in the country. And that serves Chicago and Cook County. It's actually made up of 70 organizations. And KRA is just one of them that manages two American Job Centers, Malcolm X West, and more recently, Kennedy King College. We now have 5 American Job Centers throughout the city of Chicago that are connected with colleges. So it's great to talk about the partnership between workforce development and the community college. And so we're going to dive into that today. But Dean Meschino, I want to hear a little bit about you and your background. Can you share with us your journey into education and leadership and how your role really aligns with the broader mission of workforce development in the City College of Chicago?
Wonderful. Okay, so again, thank you so much for having me on the show today, Jonathan. I am originally a Chicago native. I was born and raised on the west side of Chicago. I did high school in Chicago at St. Ignatius College Prep, as well as attended Clark Atlanta University. I love to give a shout out to my HBCUs. It's always exciting to do that. And I attended the University of Chicago, Jane Addams College of Social Work. As you can see, it's a mix there of my public and private education, which I always attribute to helping me to become a well-rounded professional and person with the values that were instilled along that pathway. I started out working in social services, which pretty much gave me a lot of great experience with working with communities and individuals in the public and private, as well as nonprofit sectors. As I moved forward inside of my career, I transitioned into higher education, and I attribute a lot of that to a lot of encouragement from my mom, who would always say, I think you should think about going into education and teaching. So that's pretty much how I landed at City Colleges of Chicago, with Malcolm X College being right down the street from where I lived at the time. So I started out being an adult educator, which is a role that works with supporting adults with learning and mastering content from K through 12. And it's just a really great space with helping people transform their lives and reach their goals of entering into the workforce and sometimes moving forward within their educational pathways. I also served as an adjunct instructor, where I had the opportunity to teach within a sociology class, as well as teach one of my favorite courses, College Success Seminar. I really wanted to transition into administration just so that I could make a greater impact in terms of policy and taking our student voices into spaces where they may not have had in the past. So just really transitioning that student voice from being in the classroom and just having that knowledge learned there. So just pretty much transitioned into administration that way. I started off as an adult education manager. So I remained within the adult education department, started off as an adult ed manager, but then I also transitioned into the interim dean role of adult education when that role became open. And then that ultimately led me into the space that I'm in now while serving as the dean of Malcolm X College West Campus. So that's been a period of over 17, almost, I think maybe even closer to 20 years within higher education. So just really just a pathway that I did not think I was going to enter into. I thought I was going to be a psychologist, social worker, diehard for the duration of my professional career, but I happily transitioned into higher education.
Talk to a lot of people in workforce and education, and that is one of the common things that we go to school and we may not necessarily intend to end up where we end up, but opportunity, but also passion for a specific area can lead us there. You mentioned workforce, and I know one of the things about community colleges, they play a key role within that ecosystem of workforce development. How do you see Malcolm X West, your campus, really uniquely positioned to help support students today? I mean, the workforce is rapidly changing, and education and workforce have to stay current to help support the job seeker and the student today. How is your campus positioned to do that?
Absolutely. That's an excellent question. Thank you so much for it. Well, within city colleges as a whole, and including Malcolm X College, we have always been committed to both the academic excellence piece as well as preparing our students for real world, real life success. And particularly at the West Campus, Malcolm X College Campus, we are pretty much uniquely positioned to support our students in today's rapidly changing workforce in several ways. First, our location. Our location and the strong ties that we have to the community gives us a deep understanding of the local industry that we're serving and the needs of the workforce trends. We're able to basically tailor our programs here and the partnerships to ensure the students are gaining skills that are in high demand right now. For example, and I'm sure I'm going to mention this throughout, for example, we have the basic nursing assistant program, medical assisting, patient care technician, and those are just a few of the newer programs that are now being offered here, in addition to some of the credit courses that support those particular pathways. Secondly, we focus heavily on hands-on learning and practical experience. And that, when you think about it, is pretty crucial in today's job market, and is especially, as you mentioned, the rapidly changing workforce that we're inside of. So it's crucial that our students are prepared to be able to move and be successful in that space, whether it's through internships, their clinicals, apprenticeships, and just basically working with our industry partnerships. We help our students to build those real life skills that many of our employers that we're connected with are looking for. The skills that they want to see students possess as they enter into the workforce. And then lastly, we're continually just adapting our programs to meet emerging trends within healthcare, whether they're being trained in different specializations. I was really pleased to see one particular program, and I'll mention it, our medical assisting program. They used somewhat of I want to even say almost a digital learning experience for students to learn how to work with patients or clients who have dementia and Alzheimer's. So really doing that specialized learning in this space is something that we are highly focused on and really paying close attention to, and making sure that those skills that are needed in the particular trades that they're going into are the ones that the industry is looking for and that is greatest of need. So students are prepared for careers that will grow in the future, that are in high demand now. And then all of this is just combined with our commitment to academic rigor, ensuring that our students are not only ready for today's jobs, but they're also equipped to thrive in tomorrow's workforce.
Obviously, the partnership between Chicago Cook County Workforce Partnership and the college, workforce and education coming together When you think about the experience for the community and for the students there at the college, how impactful would you describe from your perspective is that relationship that the partnership and KRA have with the college there?
The partnership between Malcolm X College and KRA American Job Center has been really pretty much like a game changer for many of our students. And I will even speak particularly with our adult education students who sometimes are coming in and they're looking to go right into the workforce. And again, meeting those practical needs for our students, however they define it. They've offered hiring fairs, right? So where the employers come in on site to our location where students can go in and do interviews with these employers on site. So they have the preparation that's there, like the employment training portion of it, but then the access to employers. And to me, I just believe that is a true game changer for many of our students. And I'm just pleased to share that I believe they reported to me that 2 students were hired from the last event that they did. So that is highly impressive to me. And again, that is speaking to the access that this partnership is creating for many of our students who are looking to go into the job force to support their families. From my perspective, this also creates a seamless bridge between education and employment, which is important in today's workforce when you think about the workforce and the landscape and just creating removing some of those barriers that exist, right, to enter into the workforce. So that the partnership that we have basically creates that seamless bridge. This collaboration also allows us to connect directly with job opportunities, industry training, career services that are tailored to our local economy as well. And again, like I mentioned, Walmart, right? That's in the community. It also provides valuable resources like resume help on site, interview prep, as well as job placement support that's right here on our campus. For the community, this means that there is greater access, again, talking about access, greater access to workforce development programs and pathways to stable, well-paying jobs and careers. Overall, the partnership, I believe, just helps us to ensure that our students aren't just earning their degrees or earning their certificate, but they're gaining the skills and the supportive resources, connections that they need to succeed in the workforce and to continue to the community's growth and really the vitality of our communities and the sustainability of workforce. So there's so much that I can say that's good about the partnership and the relationship that's established, and just looking forward to continue to grow. And I'm sure we're going to see an even greater impact moving forward.
You mentioned the word access. And when I think about the workforce development circles, conferences, leadership initiatives, that word comes up a lot. Usually comes up with the word equity, access and equity, designing programs that help create opportunities in that space. When you think about your community in Chicago, the underserved communities, are there any initiatives or programs that have been geared towards increasing that access and opportunity? Anything specific that you would say you're most proud of?
Well, I think by nature alone of our existence inside of the neighborhood, this is a testament to that. We have evolved to offering only adult education courses, which were much needed and still are much needed in the community. But we have evolved to in expanding our access to our CTE programs, which is our career technical and education programs. So we've moved from having adult education and BNA to additional programs like medical assisting, patient care technician, community health worker, medical assisting, and we're already exploring bringing more programs. So when you think of in terms of access, by nature alone, us being in this community is creating equity in access and opportunity for the community that we serve. This is something that is at the heart of our mission within City Colleges and Malcolm X College. And I'm particularly proud of the initiatives that have focused around the expansion of opportunity that I just mentioned, as this is a historically underserved community in Chicago. We've developed targeted outreach programs in terms of one event that we did in collaboration with you all with KRA last year, and that's our Community Day. And it was in its fourth annual existence. And it was just based on an opportunity where we take our programs out of the building and we take them and put them out on the front yard for people to see, to have representatives present where they can just come right up and talk to a representative from the programs that we offer here and gain information about whether or not this is something that they would like to move forward with. So I think creating that level of access is really something that I'm very, very proud of, and it's still going. And from that Community Day, we're developing more partnerships because what it's doing is increasing awareness about our existence, for one, and then increasing awareness about the programs and resources that are housed right here on this campus. So that's something that I'm really, really pleased about, as well as, again, the partnerships with the community organizations, for example, KRA. But in addition to KRA, we are connected with some amazing partners within this community, because we know that we cannot do this work alone. And it takes us to come together to be able to really make the greatest impact on the communities that we're serving. So just basically the main goal here at City Colleges of Chicago, Malcolm X College, is to make sure that we're equipping communities and individuals with the knowledge and the skills that they need to be able to enter into the workforce, whether it's advance in the workforce, change a career, and just ultimately contribute to the economic prosperity of our communities that we're serving. So additionally, we've implemented just flexible learning options where someone could study online, whether it's a hybrid. We have evening offerings, Saturday offerings, and just to make, again, education more accessible for the balancing of work, family, and other important commitments for the students and community that we serve. We've also worked on creating pathways from adult education and basic skill programs into entering into higher level training and degree programs, and ensuring that everyone has a chance. And what some of those programs look like are our bridge programs. So someone may be simultaneously working towards getting their high school equivalency while they're also learning skills in a certificate program. So those are some things that we're really, really impressed about for our students, and really want to make sure that people are aware of those things. These efforts are really just about us, again, like you mentioned earlier, Jonathan, creating access, right? And just really creating equitable pathways to stable careers and economic mobility. You know, economic mobility is critical, and something that we're really focused on. Seeing more community members gain the skills and opportunities that they really deserve truly motivates the work that we're doing, and it really motivates us to keep being a driving force to make sure that these initiatives are moved forward.
You know, you mentioned a couple of things there that I think are so critical. One, which is first and foremost, existing in the underserved community, but two, outreach. Sometimes I think we can think that just existing there is enough, but outreach is so important and is a key. What would you say are some of the keys in that messaging? Because existing is not enough, outreach is not enough. How we message and what we message are also important. What are some of the keys that you've found that have been successful in that messaging to those in the community about the opportunities that you have? Because you've talked about a number of great programs and initiatives. What would you say have been some of the keys to success in that area?
Oh, absolutely. What comes to mind immediately for me is relationship building and building trust with the communities that we're serving. And what that looks like means showing up and being present in the spaces that they're in, right? So we leave, and something, I'll give an example. For example, we have different events that the community puts on. I make sure that if I attend an event, I'm signing in, I'm putting down my email so that they know to follow up with me and to contact me when things are happening in the community. And I'm very expressive about that too. When I show up, I leave my email, I'll leave my phone number so that people know how to contact me, or I put them in contact with our admissions teams, or bringing in our community liaison and connecting. So it's about building relationships and connecting people to resources that can really help them. And then that trust piece. The trust piece comes in where you keep showing up. It's not a one-off where you go to an event or you meet someone and then they don't see you again. But the trust is that you're showing up, you keep showing up, and you're actually doing what you say you're going to do. And I think with city colleges, and I believe with city colleges, I know with city colleges, is that we are consistent with what we're offering and the work that we're doing. So people feel comfortable to keep showing up and to tell others about it. So it's really about establishing those relationships, doing the outreach, showing up, and basically doing what you say you're going to do, to build that trust with the communities that we serve. And it to me, is just super rewarding. I really love this time of the year, particularly because it's warm in Chicago and we can get out to different community events that happen in the space. And it's just an opportunity for us to get to know and learn the communities that we're serving, and learn about the people that we're serving and getting to know them. So that's pretty critical.
That's great. Now, I want to ask you the question about your role and the work that you do and the people that you lead. And, as we go back to what I started off with earlier, talking about how things are ever changing. When it comes to innovation and leading, how do you continue to lead with an innovative approach to the work that you do, leading there in the college, and those that you lead within the organization?
I believe as a leader that it is important to be a lifelong learner yourself. So that means that I have to make sure that I'm staying abreast of the innovation that's happening within our world, not just our city, but within our world. So that's first and foremost, making sure that I'm doing professional developments. I've done several leadership fellowships that I'm really proud of. I had the opportunity to be a part of 2 leadership academies, one being the Multicultural Leadership Academy, and the other one, HACU, which is the Hispanic Association for Colleges and Universities. And again, that's an opportunity for me to continue to grow as a leader, as a person, as a professional. So I think that's important. But then another critical piece is listening to the communities that we're serving and really understanding the evolving needs of our communities, our students, and our employers. I encourage in our space a culture that is one with collaboration and an openness, where my team in particular feels comfortable. They feel comfortable coming to me, as well as our partners feel empowered to bring to me new ideas and creative solutions to the table. So one thing that I'm just really, really find that this is something that's very important, and that is diversity of thought. It is so critical that you have diversity of thought in the space, because things become stagnant when you don't, and you move in a way that may not be as beneficial to the community or the people that you're serving, period. So I think that is really critical to have diversity of thought. I'll give an example. This is pretty much how, and I'll say listening is pretty much how we came to offering some of the courses that we have here at Malcolm X College West campus. Although we are in a community that is predominantly African American, through listening to our sister agencies or community partners, I was able to find out that there was a need for ESL classes to happen in this space. So as a result of that listening and really going out to seek information, I became aware that there was a need for ESL classes, and that was something that we could offer through our adult education program. In addition to the ESL classes that we offer now, we also offer conversational Spanish. That is something that we heard our community say. We want conversational Spanish, and we want to learn. And that's now something that we offer on Saturdays that meets the needs of the community and the time that they're able to take it. Even fitness. You may think you have to go to a gym or somewhere to get this fitness classes. So we offer dancing. We offer line dancing, Chicago-style stepping classes. So just, again, listening and being responsive to the communities and what they're saying their needs are. And then also just staying connected to industry trends when we're thinking about the programs that we're bringing over into the space and the workforce data to ensure that our programs are remaining relevant and, again, responsive to what the need is, the existing needs. In terms of like our partnerships, we're always looking for different ways that we can expand and really deepen those collaborations. I'm proud to share that Malcolm X College just recently received the Power and Partnership Award from Westside United. So that was something that we're super proud of. And again, that just speaks to our desire to stay connected to the community, to the partners that we're working with, and making sure that we are responsive to what their needs are. I believe that in doing these things, we're basically able to just kind of respond or adapt quickly, right? And prepare our students for, like we talked about earlier, a rapidly changing market, a rapidly changing workforce, right? And again, that collaborative piece, working with our partners, we're able to stay in communication and to know where those needs lie. We can all agree that healthcare is not going anywhere anytime soon. So in that way, students can learn new specializations. Their interests may change. And so it's, again, critical for us to, even though we're in healthcare, we want to make sure that we're offering those specializations and opportunity and access to those specializations that students may be interested in pursuing. One other thing is in terms of our expansion and growing and innovation, we're currently under construction and we are expanding by creating now a new community center for teaching and learning. And this is pretty much going to enhance our ability to serve students and the community on an even broader level. Over the past 5 years, we've seen a significant growth in programs. As I shared earlier, we've grown from having only adult education and B&A classes to now offering those additional programs that I spoke about earlier. So it's ongoing, and just kind of looking ahead, I'm really excited about the opportunities that are in store for Malcolm X College West Campus as we continue to work to expand in terms of supporting workforce pathways, incorporating more emerging fields like technology, micro-credentialing, healthcare innovation, and just deepening our community engagement. Because if we think about it, again, our goal is to remain agile, forward-thinking, and just to remain committed to creating meaningful opportunities, for our students and our community members.
That's great. Yeah, you hit on several key things there that I think really demonstrates the impact that the college has had there in the community. And as I come to the close here, as we look at the work, I know that one of the themes in the Chicago region with the partnership is collective impact. And you're a part of that. I see you as a spokesperson, an advocate for that message. But when you look at the impact between the college, the workforce system, the business partners that you work with, if you were making the case as to why these partnerships, these relationships are important, what would your message or your call to action be to those that may be unaware of that impact? What would your message be to them?
My message would be pretty simple and straightforward. Like you mentioned, all of these things, these partnerships and our coming together with city colleges, KRA, the AJC, is definitely creating a collective impact. And we're able to basically take on the challenges of workforce in a collaborative way. And it allows us to basically build a stronger community that is more resilient and can sustain the success and the growth that comes with these collective interactions. So basically my messaging would be simple, by continuing to promote and expand the partnerships similar to KRA, we can just create a future where everyone that we're encountering has access to opportunity, and to our community as a whole, it will be able to continue to thrive and to grow. I truly and firmly believe that this is something that has to happen collaboratively and together, because when we do that, these changes that come about can be lasting, and they will be even more positive and impactful for everyone that we serve.
Barbara, I want to thank you for that closing message as an advocate, as I mentioned a few moments ago, for this work and the voice of the people. The work itself needs to be amplified, and I want to thank you for amplifying that work and for sharing of the impact it's already having. How can those that are listening to this podcast today follow the work, go to your website? What is that website? What's the best way for them to follow that work?
Yes. So they can definitely follow us at ccc.edu. And then they can click under where it's colleges. They can click under Malcolm X College, and then they will be able to locate us that way. And then if they want to find out the West Campus, there is also a tab on that page as well for Malcolm X College West Campus.
I look forward to doing this again with you at some point, and I look forward to the continued partnership there in the Chicago region the next time I'm there. And again, want to thank you for the time and your busy schedule to join us today in the Hub, and the best to you and continued work and success there in the community. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me, Jonathan. I really enjoyed this. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to KRA's The Hub. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. To learn more about KRA Corporation, visit www.kra.com. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll be back soon with a new episode.